beautiful, wise women. Let's talk about something that no one seems to talk about honestly enough, and that's marketing resistance. You know, that tightening in your chest when someone says you need to be more visible. It's like gulp, right? And the voice in your head is whispering, I don't want to feel fake or pushy. That deep inner knowing that your work is powerful, you have, but you're still not sure how to talk about it in a way that feels true to you, right? And you're not alone in that. I struggled with it too. And no, you're not behind. You're not off track and you're not in need of fixing anything. Isn't that a relief, right? And this is simply the place before the breakthrough. And I think with this episode today, you can actually have a breakthrough around this and begin to shake off some of that tartar, right? And here's what I want you to hear loud and clear. Marketing doesn't have to feel like a performance or performative, right? We feel like we have to be on. A friend of mine posted something the other day that said, we've been trained to lead from how we appear, that we have to have our makeup on and our hair right and all those things, right? And so there's this showing up for the performance, ready to go. And I love the way that she was saying that our marketing doesn't have to be noisy or exaggerated or anything other than you, which is clear, grounded, and aligned. And not everybody is naturally gifted at talking about themselves or about what they have to offer, right? It's a muscle you have to develop. I continue to develop mine. I'm also surrounded by people that are great at what you might call shameless self-promotion, but it works for them. It does work, and that we do have to own our authority, right? I tend to be a little more humble in that area, although I am not a humble person, right? But the real transformation begins when you shift from resisting marketing to actually reclaiming it as a way, like almost like a duty and a responsibility to share your wisdom. That's one of the things that really shifted for me that makes a difference. And when you stop trying to get clients and instead start sharing from your truth, everything really changes and you actually wake up and want to do it, because marketing becomes a service, then a healing, a bridge, right? Now I know what you're thinking, right? What if I don't have the right words? Okay. We all do that, or we go to post something on one of our social media channels and then all of a sudden we go, and then something else happens and boom, the rest of the day is gone and we didn't post. Okay. Totally guilty over here of doing that. And there's a lot of us stopping ourselves because we say things like, I don't know how to talk about what I do. That's actually a sales problem, right? Because then clients can't decide if I might be someone they need. Or we might say, I don't know if people will get it. Or I've never been good at sales, right? It sound familiar? And here's the thing is you don't need to know all the answers. You just need to take one aligned step after another. Because confidence isn't something you wait to have before you begin. And I think that's the misunderstanding about confidence, right? The truth is that it's something that you build moment by moment. So you show up even imperfectly. So let's say that again. Confidence isn't something you wait to have. It's something you build moment by moment as you show up, even imperfectly. I'm showing up imperfectly right now. I don't have my full voice back. And it's been going on for weeks now. So, you know, what I want to say to you is when I started, I wasn't sure how to bring all of who I was to the table. I was a wildlife photographer. I was a sales mentor, and I was a woman with a deep love for the feminine and the feminine energy and the feminine rising. It wasn't until I gave myself permission to blend it all together, my voice, my story, my experiences, that everything clicked. Because the truth is, yeah, I spent 30 years in corporate America and generated $100 million in sales and helped launch the internet and la, 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 you know, and there's a lot of accolades in that career. And I've also learned a lot from spending a lot of time on foot with apex predators about the optimal blueprints for success, for thriving, for having sovereignty when things are always changing, right? And that's what I'm doing now. And that's what I help women do, is not follow a script, but find their voice, find their words, their tone, their truth, and turn that into a clear, magnetic mentor message that attracts clients who are already looking for someone like them, right? So, what's one simple step you can take today? Here it is. Tell one story that shows who you are. Just create like a 30-second reel about why you do what you do. What was that moment? I never thought I'd become a what? A coach, an entrepreneur, or whatever. But when this happened, and then fill in the blanks and just do a quick little video. Tell one story. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be fancy, but let it be real. Okay. Real and trustworthiness are the currency of today, not big and fancy and flashy, right? And maybe it's a moment that you could share that you realized something that changed how you serve, right? That shifted your perspective. Maybe it's the struggle you overcame that now lights the way for others. What is that? Or maybe it's simply naming what you believe and why it matters. Then share that on a post, in an email, in a voice note to a friend. Let it live in the world. Let your voice and your message live in the world. And one of the things to really think about with this is that you've really truly earned the right, and it doesn't feel good as a woman to suffocate our voices and our messages. We've already lived through so much societal imposition and patriarchal damning of the feminine voice that even just alone to stand up and have your message live in the world is a landmark event in forwarding the feminine rising. And it takes a sacred step in order to do that. And I want to empower you to take that step, because that step will be transformative. Because confidence comes when you let yourself be seen in your message, not when you perfect the pitch. There's too much stress on that anyway. And who's got that time to do that, right? So, I want to share with you in the next episode, I'll walk you through another powerful obstacle I see holding women like you back from having these successful 6-figure, 7-figure coaching businesses. You've got the experience. That's not the issue. It's really coming up with what are you selling and how to move through that obstacle that I'm going to talk about next time with grace and momentum. But for today, take that small step, tag me, post it in the Prosperous Feminine Sisterhood group in Facebook, share a story, own your voice, and notice how the resistance starts to melt. Because a lot of times, as we all know, the anxiety and the resistance come right before we do the thing. But once you do the thing, it's like, yeah, that wasn't that big of a deal, right? So do that and do it together with another sister if you need to. But I want you to know that you're not alone, okay? I'd actually love to hear from you. Come tell me, what's one story you're ready to share? Or what truth do you wish more people knew about the work that you do? Like, that's a powerful one. Drop it into my direct message or share it to me on Instagram. I'm Julie Steelman. It's really simple. And let's normalize marketing that feels like you, okay? And marketing that's in service to your mission. That's the point. Marketing that calls in your right fit clients with clarity and heart. Because when we set that stage really, really well, you'd be surprised how much easier it is to get premium prices for your work. And the thing is, you're not here to stay quiet. You're here to resonate. And the world is listening. Until next time, stay fiercely feminine and just stay marketingly magnetic. I know I just made that up, right? Be magnetic in your mentor message and marketing. And remember that you have a marketable superpower, and it's called you, and it's called your life. Until next time, I'm Julie Steelman.